And welcome, Marcella.
Hello, hi. Hi everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm already so nervous, so forgive all my mistakes.
Can you please drop some hearts in the chat to tell Marcella that she's in a safe environment and that we're all just there's no reason to feel stressed, and we're just so happy to have you, Marcella.
Thank you.
So Marcella, I would love to. We'd love to learn more about Easy-Peasy Learning. I actually did not know about this curriculum until maybe 6 months ago. And then Tammy
Mm.
from the Koala team, actually, she teaches a lot of ESL classes with Chinese students, and she uses Easy-Peasy Learning, and she loves your curriculum and loves you. So I'm really honored to have you. And I think a lot of the people in the community love to learn about new content that they can use to take their class to the next level. So this hour is all yours, and everyone, if you have any questions, please shoot them in the chat for Marcella.
Thank you. Thank you so much for welcoming me. I know Tammy has been asking me to come, and she's the best. I just love her.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've done something live like this, so if I'm a little nervous or anything, just know that that's why. I'm also really excited to present this, and when I'm excited, I just speak faster and everything. So, yeah, I actually wanted to share a small presentation. Um, so that you can see. Let me quickly go over here. And just first, introduce myself a little bit. My name's Marcella. I'm Hispanic American and currently I'm based in Germany. I started teaching English at university in California and then around the world at places like Dominican Republic and Fiji. After you can see here that I also taught at VIP Kid after I graduated from university, and when VIP Kid shut down, unfortunately, I started teaching independently. Um, and that's where Easy-Peasy Learning started. I started creating lessons because I thought the PDFs were very boring and I wanted to supplement and have activities that are more exciting for my own students. And I started sharing them with teachers and they loved them and they encouraged me to just put them out there. So this is what it is. Yeah, so now actually I just launched the brand new Easy-Peasy Learning website that I'm really proud of because I had to actually learn how to code to do it all myself. And I'm so excited to introduce everyone to the website and all the lessons that I have. I have a small um, agenda, meeting agenda that I want to show you some of the things that we already have there and some of the exciting things that are coming um, on the website. So this is Easy-Peasy Learning. First, we're going to do some phonics courses that are there and then reward games. I'll introduce you to the core curriculum and then we can talk about some of the supplementary courses that I offer as well. So this is the website. Let me fix this screen a little bit. I don't know if you can see. All right, so that's the website. If you're navigating, you can go to all the lessons, and here you will have an overview of everything that I have so far. I wanted to start with the phonics courses because they are something that I more or less completed what I wanted to complete there so far. So and this is the phonics curriculum. Right now we have 4 levels. The first level is the alphabet, then short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds, as well as a British face phonics course. If you scroll down here, you can see more or less an overview of all of the lessons that we have. Um, just to show you quickly how the lessons in the phonics curriculum looks like, I can go to the short A sound. Also, just wanted to say if you have any questions at any point, feel free to just pop them in the chat. I'll try to be looking at it every once in a while. So, okay, so this is the phonics lesson right here. And they're interactive, like I mentioned, which is perfect for Qualago. Uh, I presented this lesson as well with Xavier before. And just as you can see, there's a sound, right? Like if you press on it,
Ah,
you can hear the sounds. Then some of the most common words like
cat, ant, yak. X.
This is all included, and also the preview for the students when you send them previews if they want to watch previews before class. I try to incorporate different types of activities so that they can practice pronunciation, writing, and listening throughout the lesson. So here's just the fun, to say cat. It's the purple one, say cat. Stuff like this. And here's the writing activity, which in Qualago, of course, you can use the pen, but if you are using something like Zoom right here, you can just use the pen here as well. Some other activities that I have, of course, is reading, but because it's like such a lower level activity, the reading is shorter, more simple. And some sight words or high frequency words like with, right? And then some fun activities to go along with them, right? So here, a dog with a bone, and then we have, I want to pick of you with your dog, with your bag, with your hat, with your cat, which the little ones love, just having the sounds and all of the interactions. Same here. She's at the park. This is for the sight word at. And then we have she's at the mall. She's at the fair, at the zoo, and so on. And then the more drag and drop activities, like at the park with my axe or at the zoo with my cat. Yeah, so just the general idea of how that looks for the phonics courses. There's also the British Face Phonics course, which is a little bit different than the rest of them because even though they're all sequential and you can use them, for the levels 1 through 3, you can use them separately if you just want to help supplement your phonics courses with your students. But for the British Face Phonics, this is sort of an introduction to reading for the very little ones. So you're introducing letters in a way that they can start making first the words and then some longer sentences. I can show you how that looks a little bit here. This is the lesson this is also a free lesson. Some objectives here. And just so that you see what it sort of looks like. Again, some of fun activities, which is more with listening, like feed the duck. You can hear what the duck is saying.
Sock.
Right, and then the student has to choose S-O-C-K. And if they need a little more reinforcement, so with the sound. So just an idea. Same here, there's more words, and then also the introduction of what we call tricky words. So the words that are not necessarily phonetically being able to be sounded out, but the words that you need to remember, right? Once we have some of those, of course, practice of writing. Here's 2. And then this is where it comes together, where the student by this lesson already knows how to read all these words, right? Because they have practiced the sounds of all the letters, right? So cat can nap on a mat, and then they have to choose which one's the correct one. And they get a little trophy. So just so that you have an idea of what that looks like here. So that's on the phonics. Then we can go also to, the reward games. That's another section that I can show you. We have more than 100 ESL or reward games. I'm originally inspired because at VIP Kid, I don't know if any of you worked for them, but we had to yeah, Jacob, raising your hand, yeah. We had to have these reward games, right, that we had to introduce in the classroom, where every like 5 minutes or every time that the student did something right, you have to, tell them like you did a good job. So they need like a brain break. And for me, what worked, we had props that are physical, but for me, what worked the best was the digital props. So I have a huge selection, like find a star, build it. I can show you some of them and how I incorporate them in my classroom. So I think I have this open here, actually, yes. So this is the Build It games. I have a bunch of them. And like some of the more popular ones, for example, are building a sundae, right? And for me, what's important is I wanted it to be more than just a game. I wanted to reinforce their learning and extend the conversation, right? And so something that I do is, for example, at the beginning, like, do you know what a sundae is? Or what do you like? Do you like ice cream? And they have to explore this image and talk about it. So then we start, and they start learning sentence frames from the very beginning. I use this for my little ones, and I'm like, what do you want? And they have to answer. They have to tell me, I want one. So practice that sentence and reinforcing that kind of sentences. For the older ones, I tell them this is a bowl and this is a waffle. So I want the bowl or I want the waffle. Right. And there it is, the cup that they chose. Next, they have to choose the flavors. And this is something fun because you rarely see like flavors or in conversation classes. And so just to tell them like, okay, this is mint, strawberry, vanilla, talk about them. What flavors are there in the ice cream? And expanding the conversation and having student output, right? And then talking about how the chocolate is dripping, so really using this not just as a game, but also like explaining and telling them how they can use this in the real world and speak, like if they're going to the store, now they know that they want the vanilla one if they're in an English speaking country. So games like that. For other type of games, maybe for older students, I have escape rooms, which are incredible. I love them for my older students, like pre-teens, teens. So whereas the Build It or the other kind of games, I have more like in between lessons for a brain break. The escape rooms work mostly for a lesson themselves, or just if you're like wanting to like offer a free trial or something to a student to like engage them in your class. I can show one of my favorite ones is Santa Travels Around the World. We just used this in Christmas. There's sound, but I'll just keep it off for the purpose of this meeting so that it's not a bit annoying. But there's always, they have to escape, right? So they play, and here it is. A short story, then important, they have to learn the vocabulary before we start the class. So tree, gift, sleigh, corresponding to the lesson. Uh, and then we start, right? So this one I like because we are traveling around the world, and then at the end they learn like a fun fact about the place that they are in, or that Santa went to. So here we have Germany, then a small riddle that they have to solve. And here we are, right? So perfect again, like for a platform like a while ago where you can just drag and drop. I think the riddle tells them to build a tree specific with like a specific thing, but just like fun and to practice, stars, angels, all of that sort of stuff. And then after they're done, they get a little good job, you did it. And then here it is, Christmas. This is fun fact: the Christmas tree tradition began in Germany, where people would decorate trees with candles, fruits, and stars just to practice that sort of stuff. So, and then we go to Mexico and so on. So this is more of like the reward games stuff. Now for the core curriculum. We just came out with the core curriculum, something very exciting for me because, as you can see here, first of all, the step-by-step curriculum, so sequential, and it scaffolds one lesson with the next. But what was important for me, or what started happening to me more recently within the last year or two, is that parents wanted more help with preparation for the Cambridge exams. So CET, PET, and FCE specifically. So I decided, okay, we need something that helps them for that. So I designed these first 6 levels are so corresponding. So level 4 is CAT prep, level 5 is PET, and level 6 is FCE. And same with the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, so like A2, B1, and B2. So just to go over and see, for example, level 4, each level is going to have a certain amount of units, and then each unit has 10 lessons. The lesson 5 is a mid-unit assessment, and then lesson 10 is the final assessment. So just to show you more or less what I mean. So you can use these lessons whether or not your student is going to take those exams. They do, so you don't have to have students preparing for the exams, But if they're preparing for them, they really help because there are activities that directly mirror those of the exams. And I can show you some of those. There are free lessons that you can look at over here. And let me see. We can just go to the first one so that you can see more or less what I'm talking about. You have some objectives and then some preview links that you can see right there. So the first one is who are my parents? Really quick. There's always a little warm-up game that I incorporate into the lessons. It doesn't have to be a video, but that's just the one that's here. And then words like mother. And then I added the little extra like mom, like, that's informal. Stuff like that. Father, dad, parents. And then just a little, what are parents? A shorter way to say mom and dad. I find that sometimes these words are not really included in curriculum because I'm not sure, but like words like this, like parents, and the students are always asking like, what are parents? And then I tell them, okay, this is important. Daughter, son, again, and then some descriptions. And then a little game to practice, like who are they? Parents. This is an informal word for father, dad. Cute little reinforcement game. Then I have a dialogue section where they can see the words in action and how it works. Like, hey, it's Lily, this is my mom, my dad. They're my parents, right? And then they're talking. I'm showing them how it looks in real life in a conversation. I'm their only daughter. And then I'm getting a brother, right? And then just grammar again. For me, what's important is to have the student always have a way that they can, you're learning grammar, but put it like have a conversation with it actually, right? So you're doing I am, you are, he is. So I'm telling the student, tell me about yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Right? So I have here the initial thing, and then if they need some more prompting, I am a girl, a boy, or happy, or having a bad day. Now, let's practice you are, but let's practice telling the teacher, okay, who are you, teacher? You are excited, a man, 30 years old. And then can you tell me maybe about your grandma or your mom? Who is she? Use this in real life scenarios, right? She is not at home, in the living room from the USA. And then I have always a little fun little game here, help Lucy cross the river. So, my daughter, perfect. Cassie, let's say the wrong thing. I'm from the UK. No, that's wrong. No, Cassie is right. My parents are both 40 years old, Peter and Emma. Awesome. And then just a little game. And then this is what mirrors the exams, for example. This is the discussion. Usually, I think this is part of the speaking part 1, where they ask for their name, right? So you can ask, but you're also having there the prompts if they need a little extra help. Oh, my name is, how old are you? I'm this years old. Where are you from? Then another part of the exam is always they ask like, tell me about your family or tell me about your friends, right? So first we practice, we write it down. What can you say about your family? Tell me all of this. And then if they need prompting, I live with, I have, I don't have, my father's name is, my sister is, and so on. So they get to practice those sentence frames and just how to respond to these questions. And then here also have a little short reading. And during the reading, I like to, if they don't really understand the word or you want to expand and you don't have time to like be typing in Google, here's like a little picture. They don't know what France is. I'll show you. This is France. Maybe have you seen that before? Or a musician. I don't know what a musician is. This is what a musician is. And we talk about it. And then after they're done reading, there's 2 stories here. Colombia, same thing. I tell them, okay, so now tell us the comprehension questions. Who is Lucille? Tell us about her. She is, and then we practice the grammar that we previewed before. Who is Camilla? Tell us about her. So, and that's on the first lesson. Maybe I would also like to show you the mid-unit assessment, which I find that you can use also if you're having trial students and you don't know exactly where to place them. You can just pop one of these up and then you will see. We're testing the knowledge that they learned from the previous 4 classes, right? So over here, we first start with vocabulary, some fun activities, like familial, talk about your family, Okay, who's this? This is your mother. Tell me about your mother. So we're practicing vocabulary, but also student output. And then roll the dice. And number two. What does spouse mean? They have to talk about what the word spouse means. We spoke about it in a previous class. Here, same thing. Fill in the blank with vocabulary words. I think this is my parents help me with homework. Woo! They picked the right one, so they get a little trophy. Exciting. Same thing here. Then for grammar, I always like to have this kind of short little games like that he's playing basketball. Kylie is my big sister. Just like that. And then same thing that we reviewed. There's grammar. There's the speaking part again that we practiced throughout. What's your name? My name is, how old are you? Just to reinforce and see if they really learned those sort of basic sentence frames. Now, tell me about your family and let's expand. What do they like? What do they not like? Your parents and siblings. So stuff like that. Yeah, that's the mid-unit assessment. And finally, for something like the more supplementary classes that I'm working on now, we have a Let's Talk and then listening practice for the CAT exam. That's more specific to reinforcing some skills that the kids might want to improve. So here, for example, I have some exam preparation. This is listening practice with real exam like questions. I have part one. We have practice. We have different themes. We can choose, for example, food. And then I try to use both or different accents like Australian, South African, American. So here, you know, what kind of pizza are the girls going to eat for lunch, right? So you
I
play.
can't wait for lunch today.
And so they're like talking about the pizza and they have to choose which one or what did the boy eat for lunch.
What are you eating? It smells really good.
All right, so for different accents, and then we have a bunch of those. So there's like 3 questions for each. I actually just finished part 2, so I'm uploading that soon. Some more supplementary courses I have for a little bit of older students. The B1, B2 is interest-based speaking course. So the latest one that I have that it's been a hit has been Draco Malfoy. So this is more of a speaking class. Draco Malfoy, villain or victim, right? So we're talking about Draco and who is he? Could you describe him? And depending on the speaking class, we have either reading, listening, or we watch a small clip from YouTube and then talk about it. And then, yeah, that has been fun to do. So basically that is what the website offers so far. A lot more exciting things coming, but that's more or less the idea that Easy-Peasy Learning has. And I know I spoke really fast. I introduced a lot of things, but if there's any questions or anything that anybody would like to say or ask, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Marcella, do you see the question in the chat or do you want me to read it to you?
Sorry, no, I missed it. Let me check. Oh, okay. So I noticed a few buttons on the border of the slides. Are they for users or editing tools? No, yeah, actually, let me introduce that. I completely forgot. So some of the things that I like that help me save time or just make the class more interactive or more fun. There's some buttons that I've already incorporated into the lessons themselves. So here, for example, if the student does a great job, you have a little star. So it's great. Like, you know, I know that Koala Go has this already with the little confetti and the stars themselves, but if you're using these lessons, I know I have some parents that definitely want to use a certain platform, so I have to use that with them. So I made this for just in case you're switching between platforms like Zoom. Zoom doesn't have a star thing, or it didn't. And then also here, for example, I have more things like if you want to clap or if it's raining. So just some buttons that, an extra little fun thing to have with the kids. I have also here a play button. If you want to have, give them the brain break in between the lesson, you can also have this like brother, sister, and then this stays here for the remainder of the lesson, so you can always go back and then play tic-tac-toe to reinforce the vocabulary. Something else, I have a blackboard, just to practice when students need the little extra push, or we're practicing a word or writing, and then a notepad, like if you want them to remember he, she, it, you use an S with the verb, right? So you're talking about it, you leave it there, you go back, they forget, you're like learning grammar, they forget what they did, and then we go back, remember, he, she, it has an S, and then they write something. So just to keep something to help, just to make your life easier, to keep everything together. What else? Oh, at the end of the lesson, once the student is done with the lesson, there's student feedback that you can see right here. So you can check, you can say who the student was. My student is usually Susie and me. And then you can tell, that she did outstanding or excellent, outstanding. I also have, and I'm working on this, already pre-written feedback that is a time saver. So thank you for a wonderful class. And then you just change the name, Susie. You did great. When talking about your family, please continue practice. So something that is already pre-written that doesn't, it helps you. As a teacher, you're like, trying to manage everything with your business. And this is just simple, don't have to write anything, don't have to remember. You can, of course, change it a little bit. Maybe she had a good grammar thing, but you can just tweak it. And then just take a screenshot and send it to the parents, and they love it. So just another thing that saves you time. And yeah, thank you for asking, Albert.
How much are you the only one building all this content, Marcella?
Yes,
Wow.
I am.
How much time did it take you?
So much time. It's so much time. But I do it for my own students as well. So I enjoy it. I like doing it. When
Beautiful.
I with
Well
my
done.
students, I see what's missing. I see what maybe they need more of, and then I just put it out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Any feedback from the community on things that you wish you would have seen in this content? I know that everybody's teaching different profiles of students. I think that would be valuable for Marcella if you can share your insights or any gap that you feel is in the curriculum today.
Just was curious. I have one student who's an absolute beginner from China, and then I have another boy who's speaks practically fluently, and all he wants to do is chat the whole time if he doesn't have something particularly engaging. He's only 11, but he's very advanced. So I'm curious what there might be for him and what there might be for the little guy. I think I kind of already saw the little guy thing.
Yeah, so for the little guy, I would say more of the phonics levels, so would be more appropriate. I started working on the upper levels, like level 4, 5, and 6. Those are the ones that I'm working on now. But I would say something for your older student that just loves talking, like the B1, B2, just interest-based speaking courses. I would love, and I sent it out a survey to my subscribers that I have now on what kind of speaking content they would like to see. But I know that I have a girl that I'm working with now, so she just loves everything Taylor Swift, and so I've been doing those kinds of lessons. But I would love to hear, like, if your student wants, dinosaurs, or talking about computers, AI.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But
He
yeah,
loves video games. That
video
seems to be
games.
the
Yes,
theme.
very popular.
Most of
I
my
have.
students.
Yeah.
And
So
soccer.
definitely soccer, video games. Do you know specifically what kind of video games?
Most kids, well, his age, a lot of them are into Fortnite, and then of course there's Roblox and Minecraft. Those are big ones. Brawl Stars seems to be out of fashion now.
Yes, I love that. No, thank you so much for the inspiration. I mostly have these girls working on this, but I would love to create some for. I have also some reward games that, maybe, let me see. I think it's Build It Minecraft or something like that, just in between lessons. Maybe you want to have a quick, where is it? Yeah, here, like a Minecraft. This is just to build a game, but something, pick a character, one, and there's the boy, and then here you go, get the axe. So something fun like that to
Cool.
have in the classes. Yeah. Because the core curriculum is just brand new, I don't have a lot of lessons laid out yet for older students yet, so far. But yeah, I'm working on them and definitely
Excellent.
something. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Let me
you.
see.
It's great.
Thank you. The fruit said, what level would you suggest for a student who is taking the TOEFL junior speaking exam, very advanced vocabulary? I would say maybe something like level 5. So in level 5, I have more advanced vocabulary. I'm not very familiar with the TOEFL Junior. I haven't taught specifically for those lessons. But in the level 5 vocabulary, there's more appropriate, I would say, vocabulary like acquaintance, maybe these ones like this buddy, or I would say something like level 5, but there's more advanced vocabulary and also more advanced grammar here. Thank you for your question, Ruth. And then Julie, oh, okay. Julie says, thank you. It's engaging for the student and the teacher, but she has to leave. But yeah, so yes, this may be some of the level 5 lessons. There's a warm-up quiz here, and then the cinema where you go with your friends, just to show you some of the content here. But yeah, I have maybe a survey that I can send in the chat. Let me see, where we can fill out what levels you'd be more interesting in me developing. I would love to hear that sort of feedback. Let me check if I can find it. I send it out to my subscribers, but if you are interested in subscribing and would like to see more of something, definitely would love for you to fill this out. Let me just send it over.
And speaking of subscribing, Marcella, what do you suggest for people who want to give a try to your content?
Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Thank you so much for the reminder. I didn't have it written down. I wanted to write it down in my presentation, but because the curriculum is still developing, I have a code, Koala Go, Koala Go, and you get 50% off for both the monthly and the yearly subscriptions. So if you subscribe to the monthly subscription, you get 50% off for the rest of time that you are with Easy-Peasy Learning. And that comes out, or if you also do it for the yearly subscription, you get, I think that comes out to about like $5 per month if you use Koala Go. So, oops. If you use the Koala Go code, yeah. So if you use the Koala Go code, you get 50% off both the monthly and the yearly subscriptions.
And you say it's forever.
Forever. Forever. Yeah, so this is for the monthly subscription, is forever.
Wow.
For the yearly subscription, I think it's just for the 1 year. So the monthly subscription is forever, and for the yearly subscription is for 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Marcella. This is very generous.
Yeah, I know that it's the core curriculum just came out, it's brand new, so I'm still developing, and I hope people trust that it's gonna be great, and if you're using the code, then you're gonna stick with the, early bird plan basically forever. So yeah.
And again, Tammy from our team that you may have talked to from the Koala team uses Easy-Peasy Learning for all her students. They're all in China, her students, and she loves the curriculum.
Yeah. I love Tammy. She's the one that introduced me to all of this, so I'm really grateful for her. There's another question. Catherine says, are there any handouts that we can give the students after the lesson that corresponds with what they learned? Yes. Here I actually forgot. I have for the example for the phonics lessons. Just homework. I have a workbook. And I'm working on the workbooks for the rest of the levels. But here, like the alphabet, so letters A, B, something for them to practice. So for each lesson, you get lesson 1, like some practice that you can send as homework for the students. So you can send this kind of homework, and then for a preview, you have the preview links that you can send to the students if they want to check it out before your lesson. So yeah, thank you so much.
Marcella,
Catherine,
sorry to bother you. What is the page where people should go to subscribe and where they can type in the coupon code?
yes, let me send it. One second. Sorry, I have to go through. Okay. I'll send it on in the chat,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
and then you can use the discount code Qualigo for 50% off. But yeah, I don't know if that's what Catherine meant with the handouts that we can give the students after the lesson. Yeah, so these are I don't know if you were okay, yes. So like for homework, these are handouts with the little peas that I made. So yeah. I don't know if anybody has any other questions or you would like to see something else.
Just curious, when is the ETA for level 6? Do you have like 3 months, 6 months, 3 weeks?
I would say because I'm working on level 5, I would say 2 months. 2 months, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. My wife and I have tried to make curriculum, and it is so involved.
Yeah, very
Especially if you want to make it
time-consuming.
fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you are
Yeah.
teaching at the same time, it's a little bit,
Yes,
yeah. But
exactly. You still got to
yeah,
make money in the meantime. So
right.
thank you, Marcella.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much, Marcella, for showing us your amazing curriculum. Thank you for taking all this time to create such great content for teachers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everyone your amazing questions. If there's anything else you want to ask, of course, you can always visit the website and yeah, send me a question or anything. I'm happy and I'm here. I'm happy to help.
Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.